disqualification rules.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If I have ever felt more unsafe in my life, it is right now. There is about maybe 3.5 feet that separate my platform that I am announcing from and the squared circle. And there is nearly 600 pounds of monstrosity in the ring right now. And look at this. They have not even locked up, and the fans are already chanting both these guys. Oh boy. Oh boy. And here we go, collar elbow tie-up to start things off in tonight's main event, which is no disqualification. Anything's gonna go in this match. You got two men of this size and this reputation. You're gonna let them do whatever the hell they want. Oh, jeez. Oh boy, here we go. The chop fest has begun. Oh, jeez. Danny Maff just challenging PCO to smack him. And they're both loving it. To see both of these gentlemen smiling would be comforting the most, but the fact that they're loving this punishment so much kind of scares me. Whoa! Down goes Danny Maff. Series of knees to the midsection by PCO. Oh, and there's a pounce from Danny Maff. Down goes PCO. Both of these men with over 20 years of ring experience are going to war in just the opening minutes of this no disqualification bout. And a beautiful belly to belly by PCO. PCO charges, cannonball in the corner. Danny Maff down in the corner. PCO in the best shape of his career. Sizing up Danny Maff. Maff, the independent wrestling icon that he is, one half of the legendary Hit Squad with Steve Monster Mac, just became the recipient of a forearm from one PCO. Shoulder tackle, and to the outside goes Danny Maff. PCO might be the most hyped wrestler on the planet right now. This former WWF superstar, former tag team champion, has found a way to reinvent himself after all these years. Makes his What Wrestling debut in the main event against Danny Maff. Both men outside the ring. Anything's gonna go here, and they go into a lighting structure here at Fet Music. Maff retaliates with a chop to the chest of one PCO. And back and forth they go. Surprising to note, these two are former tag team partners. Yes, Danny Maff and PCO were tag team partners when they teamed in Puerto Rico on several occasions. And as I said, both men with over 20 years each in this business, at the peak of their careers, meeting one-on-one for the very first time ever here in Providence, Rhode Island at What 6. From one end of the hall to the other, PCO takes Danny Maff down. Maff remains undefeated even after what 5, where he entered himself into his own invitational scramble. And Maff and PCO battling outside the ring right here in front of me. Oh, Lord. And I was wishing I had a wireless mic right about now, I'll tell you that, folks. As these two are doing battle all over the arena. And I am not feeling too comfortable as PCO has lifted the ring skirt and goes underneath, and I see a multitude of chairs, both the steel and plastic variety. Definitely does not want that one. And PCO grabbing more chairs from under the ring as Danny Maff tries to get himself back up to a vertical base in the far corner. Like I said, Maff undefeated. Oh my God, PCO has found a ladder. And another, oh God. So while he moves the furniture, I think I'm gonna move myself up onto the stage area. So stay tuned, in a moment we'll be right back. Much safer up here on the stage, I think, as PCO has unveiled all of the... All right, thank you. Fan has given me a chair up here on the stage. Thank you, buddy. And PCO has pulled out, about 8 or 10 chairs from under the ring and just threw a ladder into the skull of the Bayonne badass, Danny Maff. And now PCO sets up the ladder in the far corner of the ring. Referee Rich Bass assigned this bout, that poor bastard. As the fans chant for PCO. PCO up on the middle rope in the far corner. Right into a cutter from Danny Maff. Absolutely unbelievable what we're seeing here in tonight's main event as we are just getting started, folks. These two haven't even got warmed up yet, but it didn't take long for me to be a coward and get the hell out of Dodge. Once I saw them come near that table, I had nothing to do with it. Maff now with PCO up on his shoulders. Perhaps a power slam here. No, PCO fights his way out of it. Big clothesline by PCO. And the fans are watching a hell of a main event here tonight. Our ringside photographer is far braver than yours truly. As PCO has got Danny Maff in the corner, pounding away the southpaw. PCO hitting the skull of one Danny Maff to no avail. As kicked him right in the throat. And look at this. Danny Maff grabs PCO 262 pounds across the back and shoulders of one Danny Maff. How's that for a modified burning hammer out of the corner? And look at PCO! You've got to be kidding me! He says, no way! What kind of monster is this? Oh, Danny Maff gets backdropped right into the ladder. I fear that his ankle may have got caught in one of the rungs of the ladder. A big spear by PCO. Goes for the pin, hooks that leg and only gets 2. And a very violent crowd here tonight in Providence. And PCO has grabbed a steel chair And another steel chair. Now look at the ladder. Look what's left of that ladder. And Rich Bass can do nothing but scratch his head and wonder what the hell is going to happen next. No disqualification here tonight in the main event. Danny Maff now on that ladder. Down it goes. The chair. Oh, PCO said it does not matter as he kicks the chair aside. And PCO now up on the top rope. A cannonball off the top rope onto the midsection of Danny Maff, who was lying on a ladder. Holy you know what, count of two. And PCO's got that crazed look in his eyes as these two continue their war in the main event. And now PCO again with the lefts right into the face of one Danny Maff. PCO now with what's left of that ladder has it across the body of one Danny Maff. The independent wrestling icon Danny Maff is now down on the mat. Ladder on top. PCO goes up to the top rope. A moonsault right onto the ladder into the chest of one Danny Maff. I almost feel as if the elbow of PCO was the first body part to hit that ladder. Rolls over, goes for the pin, and gets two on Danny Maff. Danny Maff, who won the Danny Maff Invitational What Scramble at What 5. Yet to be defeated here in Wrestling As of Tomorrow. What a main event here tonight. Danny Maff does not want to concede as we are some 12 minutes plus from the opening bell. And again, I fear that these two are just getting warmed up. And now there is a chair wedged between the top and middle ropes in the corner. If I were those fans, I would get the hell out of the way. And Maff blocks the shot into the corner. Maff now has the chair right to the midsection of the former Quebecer. Are you kidding me? Now to the midsection. And Danny Maff wearing out PCO, and PCO's asking for more. Right to the head. Danny Maff now with the steel chair. Charges in, and PCO just literally wound up and punched that chair right into the skull of Danny Maff and could have cared less about it. PCO now drags Maff out towards the center of the ring, and PCO now going up to the top rope. You are watching this right now on the High Spots Wrestling Network. Big splash out of the corner. Hooks the leg in, only gets two. And PCO claiming that was three. If I was Rich Bass, I would just maybe referee from outside the ring. Danny Maff. You don't usually see Maff fighting from a defensive position, but we're seeing it right now. And PCO off the ropes, back body drop. What a rough landing right there for PCO down on the arena floor. And Danny Maff, one half of the legendary Hit Squad, going after PCO on the floor. PCO, of course, the former Pierre Carl Ouellette, who teamed with Jacques Rougeau Jr. as the Quebecers, former WWF Tag Team Champions. These two now doing battle on the arena floor, just chopping the hell out of each other. Back and forth they go. Oof. As the welts, you can see the sweat flying off the bodies as each chop is laid in, and Danny Maff with a headbutt. Gonna take PCO back into the ring. As Danny Maff now over at the broadcast position that I fleed from, he is, oh no. Those were the posters that were being hung up around the neighborhood before today's event, and somebody left the goddamn staple gun there. Danny Maff, who's already bleeding from the back and shoulder area, has the staple gun in hand. Oh, geez. I don't know if those should be being fired into the crowd. Wait, what is PCO doing? PCO dropping the straps. And Danny Maff is grabbing the event poster that has both the faces of he and PCO on it, just stapled it to the chest of PCO. And again, and PCO loves it. How sick and twisted is this, ladies and gentlemen? Only here at Wrestling Has It Tomorrow you're going to see this. It's almost like PCO's getting stronger. Oh, jeez. Danny Maff just stapled him right in the nether regions. And now Danny Maff coming to the outside. Going outside the ring. Maff now. What do we have now? Oh no. And thumbtacks. And yes, of course, thumbtacks. Danny Maff with a, oh my God! PCO just ripped that poster off his chest, whips it right into the face of one Danny Maff, puts the straps back up. And right into a power bomb, but only a count of two. And the thumbtacks are still lying there exposed in the center of the ring. Danny Maff has a handful of thumbtacks. And just put the thumbtacks in the mouth of PCO and just super kick the man right on the side of the head. Goes for the pin and only two. PCO kicks out and is now spitting out what seems to be 50 or 60 thumbtacks, which means there's about another 300 still on the canvas. PCO grabs Maff, cinches him up. Oh! Choke slam onto the thumbtacks. Here at Fet Music in Providence, Rhode Island, as if we haven't seen enough bloodshed tonight in the dog collar match between Bronson and Danny Miles. We have now got thumbtacks, chairs, staple guns. I don't even know how to call this at this point. This is insanity. PCO looks like he's just getting warmed up as we are some 20 minutes into this main event bout. And you can see the thumbtacks lodged in through the t-shirt into the back of Danny Maff. Uh-oh. Oh no, Maff's got PCO up on the shoulders. Burning hammer! Right into the hell, is he the Terminator? PCO is getting back up. I cannot believe what I am seeing here. A burning hammer onto 6 chairs. Maff has him up again. Burning hammer! How is this happening? PCO is back up to the vertical base. Maff just speared him through the chairs, and he still gets up. PCO up on the shoulders for a 3rd time. That burning hammer will do it. 2 and 3. Here is your winner, the Bayonne Badass, Danny Maff. It took a 3rd spear, after a 3rd burning hammer after a spear to put away PCO. No other words can capture what we have just witnessed here. Danny Maff remains undefeated here in What Wrestling. Danny Maff just went to hell and back with PCO, but emerges victorious here tonight at What 6. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been doing this wrestling announcing thing for some 25 years. I don't think I've ever seen anything like I just saw here with PCO and Danny Maff. And the fans want to see more PCO here at Wrestling Has a Tomorrow as PCO salutes the crowd here at What.
Marks a new day in history because we saw the wrestling world